Guevel. Alex Guevel, and I'm going to call this man, this gentleman, this star, the can man, because since you've been with Matchroom, you've really made some significant changes, and you've really done what you said you were going to do, bridging the gap, bringing those amateurs forward to the forefront. Let's go to the Lynn. Talk to me about the Lynn Gym.
Oh, it was unreal last night to see. We went down there 2-3 weeks ago. Doors are shut, no kids doing any boxing. Who knows what they're up to, And we went back down last night, reopened the doors, and the gym's thriving. So we've seen it go from doors shut to literally booming again. And for us to, it's a small donation, in the grand scheme of things, but for us to have made that impact and to make that difference to those young people, that's what it's all about.
What does it feel like to you then? And I'm not saying, you're to jump on, my ego. However, from you having that plan that you wrote down and what you wanted to do, you getting through the doors, an employer saying, yeah, we like that. We want you to come and work for us, not freelance. We want you in-house. To actually seeing the money being handed over for a gym that was closed.
It makes you feel really proud for me. I had this vision years ago of like the kind of things we could do with the Matchroom platform. And to actually see it now and live it and breathe it and actually witness it week in, week out. And for me, like we say, it's not just going down to, give out some T-shirts, give out some tickets and do a good PR thing. It's not about that. It's about the long-term impact and the difference and creating sustainability within these organisations. And that is what we're doing. In terms of impact and making things clear with this one, literally we've saved the club. So you can't really get much better than that. Now, moving forward, it'll be a case of seeing what we've done, opening those doors, and then 6 months later, how many new members have they got? How much of the gym advanced from that donation and us doing what we did? So, it's brilliant.
I like the way you've touched on that there, because I was almost half finishing your sentence to say, and now we're going to move on to the next gym. But you're like, no, let's see how that gym develops from what we've done. It's like you've set a blueprint that you could probably run with lots of gyms, but you're like, no, I'm still going to focus on this gym. We still want to see the progress, like you said, numbers, membership, subscriptions, helping the gym to have that continuity.
And that's the thing for me. I want to monitor and evaluate every single thing we're doing, but also provide almost like a support package, like an aftercare package. So yeah, we come in, we do something in fight week, but then afterwards, I'm here as a level of support. I'm going to link in with other partners I'm speaking to. So like England Boxing, I've had discussions with like Empire Fight and Chance, the Prince's Trust, all these kind of organisations that we can help make links with to then, improve things moving forward in terms of sustainability and actually like the longer term impact. So it ain't a case of we come in and visit, we'll be there and we will continue to support. There's more stuff that needs doing at the Lynn. We've got the doors open, but we want to make things look amazing in there. So, we've got more ideas from a branding perspective, from all sorts of different perspectives to keep improving things.
And it's a good thing, because I guess as a part of a promotional team, it gives you guys an eye, because we don't really know what's happening with the Olympics now. Let's be honest. There's going to be some fighters that are going to make that consideration, probably not to go down the GB route and to possibly turn pro. So it sort of like gives you those, initial eyes. Like you've got the blueprint of the gym, you understand the gym. Like you said, you're going to be monitoring it. So there's somebody that's performing really well, national level, local level, and you can pass those on to the promoters and say, you might want to have a look at this kid.
This is the thing. I mean, there's so many different angles to what I'm doing from a community development perspective, but from a Matchroom perspective, there's so many benefits of being more engaged with the community. As I said before, all the fighters that box in here on Saturday night, they've all started in amateur gyms. So for us to be more connected and better connected and more connected with those clubs, we're going to meet these people at an earlier stage. So from a Matchroom perspective, while we're creating those links, we'll know about them earlier. So we'll kind of get first dibs on the best fighters, I guess. So, that's one part of it. But as I say, for me and my role, it's and also promoting our fighters in a different way. We saw last night, we had Sky Nicholson, Sonny Edwards, both of them. I mean, I spoke to both of them in depth about their experience. Both of them loved it, and every single fight has been the same. George Liddard, obviously fighting on Saturday. Jimmy Sains has said the same. Maisie Rose, who've been involved in these events. They love being a part of it. Sonny's got all sorts of ideas. I mean, you should probably chat to him about.
He's a businessman anyway.
Honestly, he's got so many ideas about things that he wants to do and be an ambassador for the young people. Sky wants to do things with young females and to empower young females. So it helps build their profile in a different way, and equally provide role models and get those role models into gyms and make it. Sky was talking to a young girl last night, the only girl in the gym actually, a bit like Ellie Scotney used to be, and she was talking to her, and it's kind of. About her experiences and how she used to be the only girl in the gym and how she's overcome that to now get to where she is. So, connecting those people and giving these like positive role models, it makes that dream achievable for that young girl.
And one thing I like about you as well, and I did tag you in a post, there was a young American fighter, because I know your eyes are not just on the UK. It is a global thing. Matchroom is a global promotional company, and therefore you're looking at some of the amateurs in the UK. There was one that I tagged you in to have a look at him. I think, is he a middleweight fighter or was he super well? I can't remember, but a talent. How does it feel then for you guys to have like a global scope? And what are you starting to look at globally? Because we discussed it, but off camera, when I was invited to the barbecue the other day.
For me, it's really important to try and align what we're doing in the UK, particularly in the US, because we've got a team out in the US. But obviously, you've seen Frank out of Japan, in Malaysia, in all these different territories. We want to be doing this kind of stuff all over the world. I mean, you'd have seen last week in Orlando, Eddie and the guys and Richardson Hitchens went to visit School of Hard Knocks gym. So that was one that I'd spoken to Kevin Rooney out in the States about, ideas around Orlando, and that gym came up because of the work they do in the community. But particularly, there's a boxer there called Amari Jones, who's he's one of the US Olympic hopefuls. So Amari's won lots of awards for kind of like, I think it's a Martin Luther King Humanitarian Award for the work he's doing in the community, empowering the young people in Orlando. So for us to visit that gym, yes, Amari's an incredibly talented boxer, and he's going to go on to bigger, like huge things. But what he's doing in his community is what it's really about, and that's what we want to shine a light on with these visits. So yeah, they're the sort of things we're looking at doing. We've got Diego Pacheco coming up soon. We've got Sonny and Bam, obviously later in the year. Haney Prograis, huge fights which we can do loads of stuff around.
May I ask, and this is just from like a business point of view, and obviously sometimes countries are patriotic. Sometimes we stand at the door and we say, no, we don't want you coming here, we don't want you Brits here, or we don't want you Americans here. Have you had any kind of like resistance, like pushing to say, opening the door for like some of the American fighters? Because we'd see online, everyone's very protective, rightly or wrongly. We want to protect our own, and we don't want the outsiders coming in. Have you found any of that with the work that you're doing, possibly overseas?
I don't think so. I think for me, I've been amazed since I've come into Matchroom. As an outsider, I always saw this like everyone wants to be part of Matchroom, and I've very much seen it since becoming part of Matchroom. I've been amazed at like how much people take you in and how much people want to be engaged. Like in terms of the partners I speak to, and any gym that we approach and say, look, we might want to do something, like, yeah, absolutely, like we'll accommodate you, we'll do this, we'll do that. So I'd say there's no difference between the UK and any other territories to that. Everyone seems to want to be a part of what we're doing at Matchroom, which puts me in a great position because it makes my job very easy.
We've talked about sustainability with the gyms. We've talked about keeping in contact. We've talked about looking at amateurs that are coming through and possibly having first dibs. Let's talk about development, progress. What is next for Alex with Matchroom? What other tricks have you got up your sleeve in regards to the amateur boxers?
There's loads, to be honest with you. There's loads. So yeah, there's little bits. So obviously, what we're doing, outwardly what you guys are seeing so far is the community visits, the things we're doing around shows. That will become like just the base level of what we do all the time, bog standard. What we're looking at doing is embedding real high-level programs that are going to make a real genuine difference to young people into clubs. So we're looking at things around like a makeover series, where we'd get young people into community facilities, teach them employability skills, trade skills, and then the gym at the end of it comes out with a brand new, refurbished gym and increased participation and opportunities and all those kind of things. We're also looking at a scheme around work experience. So providing young people aged 16 to 19 with opportunities to access Matchroom events, gain qualifications, come and experience what it's like to be part of these events, and be mentored by some of our fighters. So they'll be paired up with a fighter as a mentor, being paired up with a member of staff so they can learn about what we do. So it might be me from a community development perspective, or it might be Josh and the team in videography, or Alex Haynes content. It could be all the guys, all the different things that we're doing, Jamie with socials, anything, learning what it takes to actually run these events. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these young people might want to be boxers, but for whatever reason it's hard. Not everyone makes it. So we don't want to lose those people from the sport. We want to give them opportunities to stay in the media, do different bits and pieces, speak to guys like yourself, and gain experience, maybe do some mock interviews, that kind of thing. There's so much we can do. So we're looking at stuff like that. We're also looking at a recycling scheme in terms of some of the stuff that we use at fight nights, and giving back to the community in different ways in terms of facility improvements and that kind of thing. But as I say, there's so much going on. Probably to be launched early in the early part of 2024, I'd say. But it's exciting stuff.
We like it, and one of the things that I'm really passionate about, and You probably already looked at this anyway. I know that the boxing in the UK was part of the school curriculum, and I think it dropped out. I think it was might have been the 1950s. I can't remember exactly when, but it's something that they took out of schools. Are you getting in contact with like the local council and the government itself, education ministers, to possibly put boxing as part of the school curriculum? We've seen that the violence is increasing on the street. People are dying. Most recently, a young girl was stabbed to death in Croydon. God rest her soul. Things that boxing can do to really help these children, but not starting at 16, 17, really starting to work with the schools.
That's exactly why it's so important for me at these events to monitor and evaluate what we're doing. So every kid that attends our events has to fill out a survey in terms of explaining what the event meant to them, demographics. We find out the kind of people we're dealing with. We learn more about those people. So what we'll be able to do from that, and to speak to the organisations and to monitor what we're doing with these people, is build up a portfolio of information and statistics and all this kind of stuff that will essentially film like put together into like an impact report. And then when we then get the greatest salesman in the world, Eddie Earn, to speak to people in government, and myself to speak to people in government about what boxing can do and to lobby for it with these high level kind of organisations and people, then we're in a really strong position. It's not just a case of like, we've got these amazing videos, we've got this amazing content that we're putting together. To be honest with you, they haven't got loads of time to take that information in. We can't show them all these videos. If we can show it statistically what we're doing, they're going to listen. And it's the sort of information that they are more keen to digest too. So that is what we're all about. We're not, like I say, it's not just like a quick win. We're not just doing little quick fixes. We're here to make a genuine difference to boxing. And that is what we will do. Genuine difference in boxing. What a way to end it. Listen, Alex, it's always a pleasure. I'm really happy to see the work that you're doing, because it does mean a lot to the people in the community. I saw ex-amateur fighters turn up at that gym because that was their home gym. We've had quite a few fighters come out there. So the fact that you're behind it and helping that to open and continue, it's amazing. Thank you. More than welcome. Always a pleasure. Always love chatting to you, because it's your passion for the sport. You love the sport, and you understand the importance of what we're doing. So no, thank you very much for having me on. Until the next time. Oh, before you go, predictions. Upper Tyre or Thompson? Is it and still or and the new? Oh my God. Very tricky. Very tricky. You know what? I'm going to sit on the fence, because I know Jordan. It's not my place to predict the fight. So I know Jordan, lovely lad. Jai's a really talented fighter. I think it's a 50-50. It's a great fight. It's sure to be really exciting, so tune in.